So this shows the Tour of Honor logo that I lasered onto this glass, this shot glass. I'm trying to wiggle it so you can see how nice it showed up. So this is the paint that I bought from Walmart, relatively inexpensive, maybe $2 or $3 a bottle, or maybe $4 even. It says it's ideal for posters and signs, finger and sponge painting. It's blendable, dries to a matte finish, and it is non-toxic. I've actually tried using some paints, whether it's the Rust-Oleum ceramic cold galvanizing paint, and it worked great, but it gave off a very toxic odor when it's being burnt, as well as I don't like using steel wool to remove the paint. This paint just washes right off. I've used Rust-Oleum regular paint, the same thing. It does a nice job, but it just smells so bad, and I'm sure it's quite toxic. This stuff, just, you don't have that problem. Now these 6 here I did yesterday, and you can see how they look like they're kind of streaked. And that's why I say I used 2 coats. So this would be after the first coat, and I'm going to go over them also. But as far as how do I put it on, I take the empty shot, well, not those 2, they're already done. I take the empty shot glasses, shake this up real good. Put a couple of little drop or 2 on it, same as on this one. Now with a sponge brush, I kind of get it all over it on the surface, and then just lightly go over it like this. Again, real light. I'm barely pushing down on the brush. Okay, right over it like that. And that one's nice and smooth. I'm not really pushing down on the brush. I'm setting the brush on it and just dragging it across. Let it dry like that. Same as this, the one I just started. There is a black dot on this glass, but I think that's just an imperfection in the shot glass. So those 2 are there. Now these other ones, what I really don't want to do is put it right on there. This is a water-soluble paint. If you put a gob on it, it seems like sometimes it can get underneath this paint already. So I'll just basically put a little line on the brush and use that to fill in. Okay, nice and light now. Let that one set there. You see what I'm kind of doing here? I'm just going to spread a layer over the top. And again, just let the brush do the work. So after overnight drying, took a look at the paint. The paint looks nice. This one has a little bit of a streak in it, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. So as far as I'm concerned, these are ready for lasering, engraving, or etching, whatever you want to call it. One other thing that I also made was a little bit of a jig. A couple of reasons. One, if you notice on the glasses, they're actually tapered on the sides. So if you lay it flat on your spoiler board, there's a slant to it. Well, so I took a board, added a little wedge here to the back end, the appropriate height, and bought a clamp. And all I've got to do is put this in, clamp it, and now with that little wedge, that level is, the surface is nice and level. Also, when I'm making 6 or 8 or 10 of these at a time, it's real easy just to take one out. After it's done, put a new one in, clamp it, and it's good. Now, why the laser doesn't do a lot of vibration at all, the more secure your work is, the more crisper your outlines and your letters are going to be. So again, this is... And another thing, it's really hard. Like I said, I always set my origin of work on the center. Where's the center on that thing? Well, I know what the width is. I know what the height is. So I made another little device, basically this. And I'll set this up the very first time, and set my, I'll just use the low fire, put this in there and move this accordingly. You can see how I'm doing it. I'm actually reaching it by hand here, but there. That way I know it's centered and it should be all good. Okay, now we're ready to go. I've got the glass. One thing I do like to do is to put in a wad of paper inside. That helps absorb the laser beams instead of having them fly and bounce all over. Put it in, set the clamp, put the lens cap over the camera, hit start. Again, not real fast, a little 5-watt laser by SandSmart, 800 for the speed, 85% for the laser in the fill mode. Looks pretty nice. Looks real nice. Cloth in there. And here we go again. So as I look at this, there's a very, very nice looking one. There's a couple that I may or may not accept. I'm gonna have to check them out a little closer when I wash them. The biggest secret is still, you've got to make sure it's an even amount of paint across it without a lot of streaks where the etching is going to be. In this case, you can see a streak over by my thumb, but I knew that that was outside of the area that was going to be etched, so it doesn't make any difference. Again, nice, even coats of paint. That's critical. Okay, so here's how easy it is to clean them. Under warm water, just start taking your finger to it. And it starts to rub right off. I'm hoping that, yep, it should be showing up. Rubs right off. You can tell where I got a little bit thicker, it's a little bit tougher. Just use your nail there. All this junk comes right off. Except for the etching. The etching stays right on. Same thing, all white. Put her underneath there. Get her wet, just start rubbing it. I'm going to try a mystery eraser pad on it once just to see if that helps with it. Yeah, that helps. There you go. That's a mystery eraser pad. Looks good. All right, there you go. I hope this video helped a little bit. I'm still playing with the settings. I may decrease the speed to make the etching a little bit deeper, if you will. And again, I'm pleased with the results so far, although I do have some that I do reject. So I'm no pro. I'm learning like everyone else. But I hope that the riders for the Tour of Honor enjoy these door prizes. I'm sure they will. And if you are interested, go to tourofhonor.com. It's a great motorcycle organization that contributes an awful lot to veterans and first responders and EMS charities. Thank you very much.